Hello, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining me in another of my little monologues. Today, before I start, I wanted to say a big thanks to Sue Cook, who sent me this book, which is called Level Up, How to Be a Neuro Ninja. Now, Sue, appreciate that. She's been on the show, actually, in the long distance past now, in one of my interviews. And she sent in this book, which is, well, to be honest, I haven't had a lot of time to have a look. Because we've been dashing to the land and I've been trying to get my book out. But she says on the back of this, the book has been written to help with learning issues that you might have. And the reason behind learning issues is explained very thoroughly via primitive reflexes, their symptoms, and then this is followed by a comprehensive protocol to support progress. So anyway, if you're interested, you can check it out. I guess it's available at all good bookshops and probably online retailers. So thank you, Sue. I appreciate that. And I'm sorry I haven't had a chance to sort of acknowledge it personally, but I wanted to say that we get lots of bits and pieces sent to us, and sometimes it's very tricky, especially at the moment where we're scurrying off to Biggleswick Farm. The next episode is coming out tomorrow on The English Couple, link in the description, so check that out. I think it's episode 5, if I remember rightly, of our farm life. So do check that out. And it's about videos that I want to talk about, actually, in today, and AI. Now, AI is a very strange thing, as we all know, and many people have embraced it, and many others are sort of taking a step back and looking at it very skeptically. And to be honest, I'm in that camp. I'm very concerned, because now, with the incredible ability that it has to represent real people in very lifelike situations, it's very difficult to tell what is true and what isn't. And as we know, there are plenty of those videos that have been written by AI, that have a voice over created by an AI voice, that probably have even cobbled together all the footage by AI. And there's not one human really done anything other than perhaps put in a few of the instructions. And in fact, we met an artist lady the other day who said, well, my art is created by AI, but I have to put in the inputs. Now, you know, whatever the subject might be. And you do start to ask yourself, well, at what point does the artist lose control of that? But then I did think about that, and it's a bit like the guy who pulled a urinal off the floor, or I think he found it in a skip, put his name on it, turned it upside down, and it put it in an art gallery, and it became a famous piece of art. He didn't actually create the urinal, that was just an ordinary object. But he decided, that's art, I put it on this plinth, and therefore it is art. And I don't know whether that's the same with the art that's being created by AI. People going, well, if I hadn't have chosen those parameters, it wouldn't have made that picture. That's one level of AI, which is, I suppose, taking away the skill from somebody who could actually maybe draw and letting a machine do it. But there comes a point now where anything online that you see, particularly in videos, and everybody is drawn into videos, may not be authentic at all. Of course, everything that you see or everything that you read anywhere in the past would have had some bias, because it was written by somebody, and that somebody would have had their own ideas. And but at least you might have been able to say, oh, well, that's so-and-so, yes, and he is that way, of that persuasion, of this, you know, he has always believed that, or he's just changed his mind. That's very interesting. Now, of course, with AI and the incredible, what do they call it? They used to call it deep fake, didn't they? But now I guess it's just AI. You can put in, you know, Michael Jackson chatting to so-and-so, you know, dead people, and put a video out, as you have seen. But it means now that if you can do that, then genuine people who are out there, real people who are filming themselves, just as I am filming myself now, may not be true, because how could you tell the difference? And when it comes to the point that you can no longer tell the difference of what's true and what's just made up by AI, because the AI is so good, what options have you? And imagine you're a young person, a youngster coming into this world for the very first time of technology, And all you have got to go on what is real in the world is what you see on your phone. I mean, that was a bad enough challenge. But when I was a kid, you know, at least you had textbooks, there were publishers, and as far as I could tell, not that I really gave it much thought, they were relatively reputable and would want the facts to be accurate, even if we all know that perhaps some of our history is not quite what it's been led to believe. But now it seems pointless even to switch on the phone to look at a video, because everything could be a lie, and probably is. And even you looking at me now can no longer tell whether that's me or somebody else who's just recreated me and put in the parameters. So I don't know quite where we go from here, because in a way it's killed the genuine nature of anything. And maybe that is by design, who knows, so that nobody is certain of anything and that we're all in a bit of a confused state. Was that video genuine? Do I believe it? Was it AI? Was it AI but with a real point behind it, or was it a made up point? I don't know. It's very confusing, but it does start to make me think that actually anything that you see now is really not worth the screen it's pixelated on, if you get my meaning. And I don't quite know where you go from there. Now, does that mean that we need to go back to analog methods of communication, like newspapers or old-fashioned radio stations or books? By the way, my book, Biggleswick, is still available, and there are a few left if you are interested in buying them. I'm trundling off to the post office in a moment, well, as soon as it opens, with another 3 boxes and a whole load. Somebody's ordered 6 of them, and they're being posted out. She said, "You have made my Christmas." Fantastic. So it does make a good Christmas present to those who are either aware of the situation going on, or perhaps those who are not and interested in a little novel. Biggleswick, the town that wouldn't comply. Get your copy today. And just email me, richard@vobes.com, and I'll tell you how to get it. I do try to get them out as soon as possible. But yes, the screen stuff. But what I can tell you, at least I can tell you, even if you may or may not believe it, but the stuff that Julia and I do on The English Couple, you'll see, you wouldn't want to create this in AI, because you enter Wonky Town and our wonky world of where 2 people who have been wishing and praying to get onto the land, finally get onto the land, and give it a go. We put our hearts into everything that we do, but it may not be from experience. And actually, sometimes that's quite good, isn't it? Because we haven't come with the bias of perhaps agricultural training and all of that. And we know that some people will be saying, oh, that's not the right way to do it, because I've got green fingers and I do this and you're doing it wrong. And it doesn't really matter, because it's all about learning, and we're thriving on the learning, even if the learning means we make a few mistakes in the process. So that is a genuine video. It's not AI at all. There's no AI in that. But it is a worry, isn't it? And what do you think about those young people then, who are coming up on the world and not knowing that what they're watching is being completely made up? All of it, even the people in it who would never have said those things. It's a strange world we're living in. It's going to be difficult to navigate. And perhaps one of the things that we need to do, and this is so bad for us because at the moment, you know, I'm communicating with you on this same system, and Julia and I on The English Couple, but maybe one of the things that we have to do is actually switch these things off and say, no, I'm not watching that anymore. I'm going to get together with friends. I'm going to talk. If I can touch them, poke them, kiss them, hug them, they must be real, rather than those figures that appear on the screen which purport to be real, but perhaps are not. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you again soon.